All right. Nick Kirby, Shea Neal, Reds trying to get Shea a dub.
Man, I need him to. Sir Boy mentioned it earlier today. I think we're on a 5-game losing streak now, Nick. I'm sick of being the kiss of death.
Believe. All right, so we need to sync up here. I just saw the 2-0 pitch to Ellie.
You just saw the 2-0. It just went 2-0 for me.
Okay, well, let me know when you see the next pitch.
All right. I've got chat turned off. I love you, chat, but I'm not getting this spoiled. And there's the 2-0 right there.
Dude, we are somehow like completely in sync. So there we go. All right.
Hunter Harvey. This Nationals bullpen, Nick, quietly pretty good. They got some good arms in here.
Yeah, their back end with Finnegan and Harvey's pretty solid. I think if obviously you'd like to, get a run here, but I think if you get past this guy, then it's a little more.
All right. Abrams didn't panic there.
Brock
very easily could have.
Brock Miracle, like the stream. Brock, you're on it. Likes equals wins.
Yep.
We need some likes. We need a win. Let's go.
Not just the Reds today. I need your likes. I need to get off the snide here.
He does. He does, folks. He does. All right. Spencer Steer.
Now, this young man's been clutch before, Nick.
Just once or twice.
Just once or twice.
Brendan Trace is currently recruiting Lance Lynn. He is watching a White Sox game. I think he took his ball. Oh, speak of the devil.
There he is.
Look who it is.
Live and in the flesh, boys. Hey, listen. Lance Lynn said he loves Cincinnati. Did not like the chili, which, to be honest, I feel like that's a knock. That's a level down on the rating so far. One inning of baseball, he got 3 guys out without giving up a run, which in Cincinnati, that's really good. Talking to a guy outside the ballpark today, and I said, yeah, I'm here to watch Lance Lynn. I'm a Cincinnati Reds fan. And he said, oh, you can have him. We don't need him. I said, oh, yeah? He's like, yeah. Hold on. Wait for this thing to die down around here. By the way, there's a capacity crowd here of about 400 people. 420 people. Anyway, so he's like, yeah, Lance Lynn goes about 6 innings, gives up 4 runs. I said, shit, man, we'll sign him right up. Give me 6 innings. I'll take 4 runs in a heartbeat, dude. I mean, I don't know what ball you've been watching. Well, what do I got to go this way? Here, by the way. There you go.
Look at that.
Look at the view.
That. Yeah. If anything happens, I'll switch it around here on you. But trust me, there's not a whole lot going on in this ballpark. Where are we at in the game, by the way? Top 9, 3-3. Ellie De La Cruz is up. Was up. Tyler Stevenson's now up. 2 outs. Not looking good. Not looking good. So, yeah. Anyways, boys, I don't want to check in too long because probably my phone will eventually die, 1. And 2, I have nothing relevant to really say at all. Per usual, though. That's like how most shows go. So, man, I'm struggling trying to get this thing. It's loud as shit in this ballpark for how quiet it is. Like, they need to turn the music down because there's not as many people that like knock the music down. You know what I'm saying? When there's 400 people, they should tell the guy that keeps the control of the levels of the crowd microphones that they can turn them down a little bit. But anyways, what has happened? I seen Ellie De La Cruz wasn't able to tag a guy at third. That kind of bit us. Anything else that's cool that I should know about?
Senzel and Benson let a fly ball drop.
Oh, yeah, Senzel and Benson. Well, between the 2 of them, we have 1 outfielder.
Yeah, we're going bottom 9, Trace.
Bottom 9.
Yeah,
Fair. You know this guy? That's the pride of Madeira.
Andrew Benintendi?
That's the pride of Madeira. The Madeira Mustangs. I mean, could they play this music any louder? My God. I mean, that's what they do here. They make it. Oh, my gosh. Brutal. Anyways, are any of these guys good?
We
We don't really need bullpen help, so I haven't really talked to any of those guys. Here we go. Right there.
Yeah, I don't think we need any poor man's Will Bensons.
Yeah, we don't need any of these guys. Maybe they're closer. I don't know. Anyway, I'll let you guys go. Go Redlegs. No matter what happens, I just want to remind everybody that the Reds are still in first place.
Yes, they are. Big
So,
series. When are you going to be in Milwaukee? What
tomorrow.
games are you going to be at?
I'll be there tomorrow. I plan on being pretty loud, obnoxiously loud, and I won't get myself thrown out, but I'll be close.
You'll walk that tightrope.
If I didn't have kids, I'd be really obnoxious, of course.
Well, Andrew Abbott's going to bring it for you, Trace.
I hope so. The problem is they got a guy that throws the ball pretty well tomorrow too. So.
Oh God, we're bringing in Tony
Santion.
Oh, good. You know what? I was just thinking Tony Santion. The first outing he should come in is a tie game in the bottom of the ninth. That's what I was thinking. Let's just kind of, you don't want to throw anyone to the fire. You haven't been pitching in about a year. So what do? You come in 3-3 game in the bottom nine. Good idea. I like it. I actually do like that. I think that's great. I'm going to listen to you guys talk about it now because I got to go.
All right.
See you, Trace.
The Ricky Karcher trial by fire here for Santion.
Big pitchers make big pitches, Nick.
Santion walked 8 batters in 9 innings at AAA. So
the Reds are 1 for 1 in putting in chaotic closers in bottom half of innings. We'll see if it happens again.
Good to see him back. Wow.
Yeah, those numbers on the screen don't make you feel much better, do they?
No. He was hurt, though, last year.
All right. It's a good start. 96 on the corner. Watch him just shut us up, Nick. He's going to strike out all 3 guys here. Never mind. He got a pop-up.
Thank you. Apparently, Davey Martinez did not read the scouting report that he walked 8 batters in 9 innings.
I was going to say.
All right, one down, Shay.
Davey Martinez has had a tough week, Nick.
He's had a tough week. Davey might be on autopilot right now.
Yeah, I don't know how much Davey's heart's still in the game.
All right. Throwing some strikes. Little
We got notorious slugger Riley Adams at the plate here. Toronto Blue Jays legend.
When I see Adams and Nats, I think of Matt Adams, and
that was
my first. That dude terrifies me.
Oh, much more lethal hitter than Matt. Yeah, Matt's definitely the scarier hitter.
Yeah, don't be jinxing this guy there. And he rips one right into the gap.
Right into the gap.
Shay, come on.
Well, I think, I don't think what I said was incorrect. I think Matt Adams is still probably the better hitter. But, Riley's had a good day.
What do you think about not using Diaz here? I mean, I have no problem not using Diaz.
I'm honestly for it. I was actually saying this earlier, Nick. People might not agree with this, but I said even if the Reds were winning by 1 or 2 in the bottom of the ninth, I'd almost rather lose today and make sure Diaz is good tomorrow. And I know that sounds crazy, but I think the most important thing for the Reds bullpen is just making sure Alexis is good to go for this weekend.
I disagree with that. I would be pitching him if they were leading, but I mean, you still got to get 6 outs either way, you know. And
I think that's staying in the
Oh my God!
What a catch! Oh my goodness!
Nick Senzel, Cincinnati Reds right fielder.
Holy crud! What a catch! That was like that was the Odell Beckham Jr. catch in baseball.
What?
What a catch! That was literally the same motion as the Odell catch. He reached back, and that was unreal. All right, Alex Call.
Yeah, this guy hit a home run off Duarte.
Yep, he's been on base all 3 times today.
Sheesh.
Good pitch.
All right, please waste one. Please don't Ian Jabot 02 special here. Please make.
Come on, Tony.
Oh, good bag.
That's a dang good.
That was a
pitch.
beautiful pitch. Love it. All right, now maybe go up and in.
I like that. Slow runner at second, so base hit, you might have a play at the plate. Popped him up. Nick Kirby, we got bonus baseball in the nation's capital.
Wow.
What a series.
Nick Senzel.
Oh,
I still cannot believe
Can somebody in the chat please Photoshop Nick Senzel's face on Odell Beckham's catch? I would appreciate that. I think that'd be a great meme for Reds Twitter tonight.
Wow. All right, where are we at, Shay? Where are we at in the lineup here?
Stevenson ended it. So that would be Stevenson's hitting 6 in the order. So we should have Senzel, Benson, and Friedel coming up with Tyler on second base.
Ooh. And then where's the pitcher spot is third in the lineup. So we're still quite a ways away from that. And we have Fraley for that. So because we lost the DH.
Yes, we lost the DH. The pitcher spot, I believe. Where is the pitcher spot at? That's a good question.
Pitcher spot is India. It's the third spot in the lineup.
Third spot in the order. Okay. So hopefully if we get to the pitcher spot, it means the Reds have scored a couple runs.
Yeah. Or we lived another inning.
Mouse Cop's right. We need to like the stream and make sure this is a W.
Yeah.
We cannot go into this Brewers series off a loss. Come on. This is important baseball, folks.
Nick Senzel. I wouldn't bunt here. What's your thoughts?
Who's the pitcher?
Same guy. Problem is the Nats have the top of the order in the bottom of the ninth. They have Thomas do up first. You might walk him. Definitely walk him if it's tied.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't.
Nick Senzel does have 2. I mean, he has a couple clutch hits this year, but
oh
boy! First pitch!
That's why you don't bunt. That's why you don't bunt, Shay.
Who needs the bunt, Nick? That's gone.
Nick Senzel.
He bunted that one straight out of the DMV area.
This Reds team, man.
Dude, Nick Senzel in the last 3 minutes have single-handedly just turned this game upside down.
All right, get Alexis up. Get him up. You have to pitch him now. I mean, you got to take this win.
I think just with the emotion that's come with this game, I'd get him up now.
Well, Shay. I mean, let's workshop this, okay? All right.
Well, yeah. And the age-old saying, Nick, is worry about tomorrow. Win any game you can.
Okay. Well, if you win this game, You go into Milwaukee, and if you just win one game this weekend, you are in first place, a game ahead of the Brewers at the end of the weekend. So you got to try to take this win right here, right now.
Yeah, and I mean, how many times? I don't think the Nationals are a quote-unquote bad team. They're not a good team, but they're not completely hopeless, Nick. And how many? But for the rest of the season, the Reds are going to be playing a lot of good teams with playoff caliber rosters, especially coming right out of the break. So you got to take advantage of when you're playing sub 500 teams. Will Benson, go back-to-back one time, please.
Nick Senzel. What a moment, man. What a moment.
Oh, Benson just got a heater. Ellie would have hit that one 700 feet. Good eye. I would just forever love for July 6th, 2023 to be known as the Nick Senzel game.
I like it. The Nick Senzel game. Oh, man.
Oh.
Nick Senzel was.
Perfectly executed bunt. Perfect. It will be top of the lineup coming up for Washington. It's going to be Lane Thomas, Candelario, and Meneses. So maybe, I mean, it is screaming getting Alexis up, but we'll see. Hunter Harvey's day is done, though.
Hunter Harvey came into this series. I had a note on this. Had thrown 7 straight scoreless appearances.
And how about, I know Rainey's in that conversation too, Nick, but how about, and so is Jordan Weems. But if you count Weems, Finnegan, and Harvey, the Reds have scored 4 runs today off of the Nationals' quote, best 3 relievers.
Reds seem to do almost better against some of these better relievers than some of the bad ones.
All right, they're bringing in Corey. Is this Corey Abbott or Corey Abbott?
Andrew's cousin. Unbelievable, man.
I was not paying as much attention to Brewers Cubs as I was last night. Did the Brewers end up winning that one?
The Brewers did end up winning. They tried to choke it away again. Yan Gomes hit a 2-run home run, I think, in the 8th to tie the game, but Victor Caratini did a solo tank job to put him up, and they held on.
Victor Caratini. He's been in the NL Central for what feels like forever.
Yeah. NL Central lifer.
Oh, man. He played like a half season with the Padres, but the rest of his career has been Cubs and Brewers. I'll tell you what. I'm having fun. I hope Chad is too. But like the stream, there's still, a couple runs the Reds need to score. There's still 3 outs you need to get.
We're bringing Law. I don't know. I don't get cute here, man. If Diaz is available, which I assume he is,
especially with the 1, 2, 3 coming up in the Nats order.
Yeah. A lot more pressure on the Brewers being down 2 games than down 1 game. This going into this really 6-game series. I mean,
I cannot get over the science behind the Reds just seem to play drastically better when they're losing the game. Like that defies all logic, but it works. They just have that cardiac, that cardiac energy in them.
Did you see that stat? There's only 2 teams over the last 50 years that have as many comeback wins as the Reds do through however many games we're at into the season.
It's crazy.
I mean, and the Reds, they're 9 over 500. They have a good record, but you'd think like the teams that there'd be more teams that, are 15, 20 games over 500 at this point that would have, more than that. So it's really just.
What's going on here?
The old PitchCom.
I'll tell you what, PitchCom has issues every other night.
Yeah.
For such a revolutionary tool that's going to change the game, it sure doesn't work very often. Come on, TJ, barrel one up. Good sinker. I feel like every at-bat TJ Friedl has, Nick, is 4 or 5 plus pitches. I mean, when's the last time we've seen TJ Friedl get out in 3 or less pitches?
What if he does, like he's hitting the ball really hard somewhere or bunting, and there's a walk.
Brings up Joey Votto.
Yeah. We might see that DH, that we might see a pinch hit for the pitcher spot.
Well, they do have Fraley still on the bench.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I wouldn't be against trying to steal a base here.
Yeah, I'm not against it either, especially because I think Votto has the skill to maybe put on a hit and run too.
There he goes.
There he goes. First pitch.
Ooh. Looked like he had a pretty good jump.
Ooh. That fastball's got some wicked movement right at the end.
Yeah.
All right, Votto. Big knock. Oh.
All right, McLean, pick him up.
Oof. After what happened yesterday, Nick, that's like PTSD for me.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll feel the same about a back pick throw to first until August.
Yeah. You see a lot of those, man, with the new rules. I feel like catcher arm strength is like going to become more of a premium.
I agree.
Than maybe it was, before, especially in the NL Central.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, hitters count, Matty. Let's go.
Turn him loose.
He's got that look in his eye.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Buck Farmer already pitched. I'll run it through for those who are maybe just tuning in. Williamson was great, but only got 3 innings because of the rain delay. Farmer threw an inning and 2/3. Jabot threw an inning and a third. Duarte threw an inning. Sims threw an inning. Santillan threw an inning. So we are down to Alexis Diaz, Derek Law, and Alex Young and Fernando Cruz. But Fernando Cruz threw a ton of pitches the last 2 days, so I would assume he's unavailable. And you would definitely like Alex Young fresh for this series too, because the Brewers have a lot of lefties.
Yeah, and two of their most dangerous hitters, Nick, are Tellez and Yelich. So,
well, Tellez is on the IL.
That's right. That's right. They just did that like a day or two ago.
They have Winker.
Yeah, they do have Winker.
Not sure he's. I don't want.
I don't know if I put him in the category of their most dangerous.
I'm not jinxing him. I'm not saying this, and then he's going to go.
That's fair.
10 for 10 this weekend.
I just don't want to see that Monasterio guy again.
He is on the roster, and he will be in the lineup tomorrow because he is a platoon player. He'll be in there against Abbott.
Well, if anyone can handle him, it's Abbott. But I'll tell you what, those 2 games at GABP, Monasterio did not make a fan out of me.
The home plate umpire looks gassed. My man is exhausted.
He's had a long day.
It's like last game of the series, man. I've been here for 10 hours. Like,
What's the debate here? Didn't the catcher call time?
I think the count might have been wrong on the scoreboard. I think that's what it was. Ooh, that was a great pitch, man.
Ooh. All right. We'll see if they bring in Diaz. Yes, it looks like they are.
All right. Likes. You like Alexis Diaz?
We're calling on the Matador.
Break Shay's streak.
Please. We're getting to the point where if this goes on much longer, Trace and Nick aren't going to let me come back.
No, we'll let you come back.
We got a division push to have. We can't be risking this much longer.
All right. Yeah, just you cannot make a mistake to Thomas. I mean, no. You don't want to walk him because you don't want to put the winning run at the plate, but
yeah,
got to be careful.
I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, I don't know much about Washington Nationals baseball, so apologies if I'm incorrect, but I believe that Alex Call has pretty decent speed, and he'll be the runner on second. So,
yeah, but not really all that important what he does.
That's true. I'll tell you what, Nick, this has been a roller coaster. We were supposed to be on back at like 3:00, and then a rain delay, and now extra innings, and I mean, who knows how long we'll be here.
Yeah, these extra inning games, they're a little bit of a grind. I mean, I love doing this, but the extra inning games, man, like that one on Friday, I had drove all day and got down in time for like the 6th inning, and we were on for like 2.5 hours, I think, and phew. I would not be built to be a Major League Baseball player. For some reason, someone thought that.
Looks like they moved Senzel into third.
All right.
So they brought Fraley and Wright, maybe?
Did David Bell get to do a double switch?
What a catch. Oh boy.
Doesn't matter. I would honestly like just say I would like invite him home. Like, just your run's pointless. Like, I don't want you on the bases. I don't want you distracting anyone. Like,
Just go ahead.
yeah, like remember Castellanos earlier in the year?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're that runner, you're trying to get in his head. I would think you should. All right, good pitch.
Who was the last Reds closer with 25 saves in the first half, Nick? Oh, wicked hop.
Probably Cordero. I mean, Chapman probably did at some point.
Slider spun
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah, David Bell got to do a double switch in 2023 because he took Votto out and then he put Fraley in the pitcher spot.
You just know he had a little smile on his face.
He was so excited to do that. That's awesome.
Come on, Alex. Let's get a double ball. Get a ground ball here. Oh.
Oh boy. Oh, no.
Like the stream.
Oh man. Dave Martinez looks so done. Like, just get this game over with.
That must have gotten him right on the kneecap.
Oh man.
Oh
no.
Oh man. Oh. That's the kind of, I mean, I'm no medical expert, Nick, but that's the kind of that's the place where you get hit where it just makes the kneecap explode.
Oh.
Oh. He's putting some weight on it. Davey can't wait to get out of here.
Where are they going next? Are they still home?
I have no idea, but I know at the very least he just wants to go home.
I don't know.
They are staying home, but they have Texas coming to town. Long week. All right, so this is who's hitting 3 for them? This is Meneses.
Yeah, a lot of power, a lot of swing and miss. Let's hope it's the
ladder.
The ladder.
I did not see a way he was going to be able to run on that.
Yeah. Yeah, let's get triple played in this.
That'd be pretty cool. I wouldn't hate that. Now they're going to Thom Smith. Isn't Thom Smith? Maybe it's different this year, but I'm.
He was already in. He must have batted the last time.
Okay, now I'll wait until strike 1 there, but maybe it's different this year, Nick. But in the last couple of years, Thom Smith has reverse splits. He's better against lefties.
Yeah, but he was not starting today against the lefty, so I don't know. We can look this up. See if it's changed. Didn't the Reds lose a game with a lefty on the mound? And People lost it. All right, where are we at, Thom? They're almost even now at this point in his career. And it looks like he's just been a bad hitter against everyone the last 2 years.
Yeah, well, I was going to say ever since he left New York, he has not been great.
All right.
Big pitch here.
There you go.
There it is. Let's go. That's one. More likes, chat. 2 more to go. Corey Dickerson. I felt like he was hitting like 7th in the lineup.
He was pinch hit in this game. He didn't start either against a lefty.
Yeah, that's right. He did pinch hit for Garrett.
But yeah, he was hitting, I think, like 7th in the other games of this series.
All right, quick 0-2 count.
Wow.
Did he pick that?
What a play.
What a pick. Oh, man.
Why didn't Senzel just step on third base? Yeah.
That's an unreal pick by a guy that hadn't played any first base until this year.
Yeah, I don't. Why didn't he step on third base? I mean, I guess maybe his momentum, but
why didn't he at least set his feet? All right, Keibert Ruiz has been very aggressive in this series.
I don't like that 0 for 4.
Good pitch. He's got a little Soto in that stance. Playable?
Let's go.
Streak is dead, Nick.
It's over.
Let's go.
It's over. It's over.
Oh, my goodness.
Shay, say let's do a show.
Let's do a show, Nick.
High drive. Left center field. Racing back to the Laurent Bourgeois. The Reds are National League Central Division champions. In the air, left center field. Did he? He did. He did. Red win. Win. Line to the right field. Genius, the first run ever. With 4 home runs in a game. Can you believe it? In the air, down the right field line. Doesn't have a chance. The Reds have won on a 3-run home run on opening day by Ramon Hernandez. A strike away and out away is Homer Bailey. Ground ball to third. Frazier gloves. Throw to first, and Homer Bailey, for the second time in his major league career, has tossed a no-hitter. Oh, are you kidding me? Holy Moses, the second player in major league history to hit 7 home runs in the first 10 games. In the air, and the Reds win. What a dream beginning to a career.
It's not the same as the crack, Nick, but, bottle cap twist is good enough.
Let's go. The Cincinnati Reds, 5-4 winners over the Washington Nationals in a game that started like 5 hours ago. But the Reds survive. 4-game sweep of the Nats. Shay, this team, man, this team.
Big shout out to the chat, man. I love that they're excited for me. It's been the kiss of death for a couple weeks now, but I appreciate the support. We're back in the win column, and now I feel like I can contribute to the show as we move towards the division title.
Yeah, what a time to be alive. All right, let's do a box score recap. I'm sure a lot of you may have missed parts of this game, as a lot of people do have to work for a living. So let me run through what went down, and I'll try to keep it as short as I can. Top of the first, Reds went down in order against Mackenzie Gore. You might remember he actually started this game for the Nationals. Bottom of the first, Brandon Williamson started for the Reds, set down the Nats in order with a strikeout. Top of the second, Elly De La Cruz singled. He stole second base, and then a steer ground out moved him to third. But then we had an hour and 43-minute rain delay. The Nationals went right to their bullpen and didn't let Mackenzie Gore come out. On the broadcast, they mentioned he did go throw pitches on the side. I guess when you're, 20-something games out of first place, you go that route. Stevenson hit a grounder to the shortstop, C.J. Abrams. Abrams threw out Elly De La Cruz at the plate on a contact play. Tyler Stevenson fell out of the box and actually ended up being an inning double play. Brandon Williamson, however, did come back out for the Reds after the nearly 2-hour rain delay. Brandon Williamson threw 2 scoreless innings, allowing just 1 hit. And as this game continued on, those 2 extra innings he was able to throw were very important. Top of the third, Will Benson walked. He reached second on a force out. And Kevin Newman, who David Bell decided to stick with against the right-handed pitcher, since it was still early in the game and the Nats do have a couple left-handed relievers, ripped a single, putting the Reds up 1-0. Buck Farmer pitched a perfect 4th inning, and we thought that he got out of the 5th inning when he picked off C.J. Abrams going second to third for the final out. However, Abrams deked third baseman Elly De La Cruz on his slide into third base. The throw easily beat Abrams, but Abrams avoided Elly's tag. The tail runner also got to second base, and of course, the next batter ripped a single to put the Nationals up 2-1. Ian Jabot would get the Reds out of that inning and without any further damage. But the Reds, as they always do, they came right back. Top of the 5th, TJ Friedel, a pinch hit single. Matt McClain was hit by a pitch, got Elly up to the plate with 2 outs. Davey Martinez brought in a lefty to face him, and Elly greeted the new reliever with a double down the third base line. TJ Friedel scored. That tied the game, but Matt McClain was thrown out at the plate to end the inning. Jabot got the Reds into the 7th inning tied, but Daniel Duarte gave up a solo blast to the Nationals' number 9 hitter, and the Reds trailed once again 3-2. In the top of the 8th, Will Benson had a leadoff double. TJ Friedel bunted him over to third base, nearly turned into an infield single, just barely was out. Bell brought in Joey Votto to pinch hit, and Votto smoked a single to tie the game at 3. Lucas Sims pitched a scoreless 8. Then Tony Santillan made his season debut for the Reds in a very difficult spot in the bottom of the 9th. Nats had a runner on second base, and then Nick Senzel made maybe the catch of the year for the Reds. Definitely up there, saved the game. Santillan was able to get out of the inning and push us into extras. And in the top of the 10th, Nick Senzel hit a leadoff 2-run home run, scoring himself in the ghost runner, 402 feet. Reds up 5-3. A error by Elly De La Cruz and some shaky pitching by Alexis Diaz in the bottom of the 10th. But as Alexis Diaz always does, he found a way to get out of it. Your Cincinnati Reds win 5-4, 4-game sweep of the Washington Nationals. Reds will go into a series at Milwaukee up 2 games in the National League Central Division as the Reds just continue to win every night on the road. It's insane. Shay, talk to me.
Well, I can't fully replace Trace today, Nick, and I think Trace knows that too. Unfortunately, the Zebra stepped in and did a fantastic job last night. I do not have any Fireball on the premise, so that's not happening. But I will say I will celebrate snapping the streak with an adult beverage. We're getting some red, white, blues up in here to celebrate the 4th of July, and I'm only going to call them red, white, and blues because, as you and Trace know, no free ads.
Yeah, appreciate the no free ad stance. That is a pro move by you, Shay. Folks, I am not drinking. I am a father at 6 o'clock at night. I gotta have a little respect. My kids haven't come home yet for the day, so sorry. We'll make up for it this weekend. We got an 8 o'clock game on Friday. So, all right, but let's dive into this. I don't even know where to start. I mean, there was just so much that happened in this game. Let's start off with Brandon Williamson. I don't want him to get lost in this because he pitched outstanding today. He looked great. The poor guy, second time he's had a rain shortened start, but 3 innings, just 1 hit, no runs, walked just 1, struck out 4. I thought his stuff today looked as good as it's looked all year. Only allowed 1 hard hit ball. Man, Brandon Williamson's looking like a dude that might actually have a chance of sticking in this rotation.
Yeah, he is. And after he was pulled, Nick, I tweeted and I said, it feels weird, but I think I'm a member of the Brandon Williamson fan club. And that's, something that if you said that a few weeks ago, that'd be kind of crazy. But I think that, I think there's something to, if you're not seeing improvement when you watch Brandon Williamson pitch over the last couple of starts, I don't really know what you're looking for. One, the stuff looks better. His velocity went up again today. He hit 96 miles an hour for the first time all year. The cutter gets better and better every start. His changeup's getting better. His slider still looks sharp. But, Nick, what I think is the most important thing for a young pitcher is he just looks more confident out there. And I talked to Trace about it, that, when the biggest thing for a young player, we saw it with Will Benson, is that moment when you feel like you belong. And I think Brandon Williamson looks like he finally is starting to think he belongs in this league. And he's starting to pitch like he belongs in this league, too. I was really happy with Williamson's performance, and I'm fine with him being the number 5 starter in this rotation moving forward.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe at some point you move him to the bullpen to maybe kind of finish off his season. I think he could be a valuable pitcher there, but this guy's completely flipped the narrative on him. The narrative was that he just walks a ton of guys, he's never going to figure it out, and he's been anything but that. He's come up, he's thrown strikes. Today, it sounds like he talked David Bell and Derek Johnson into coming back out. It sounds like they weren't pushing for it. It sounds like he said, hey, I really want to throw and I feel good. And those were 2 really, really big innings as the Reds ended up having to throw Buck Farmer, Ian Jabot, Daniel Duarte, Lucas Sims, Tony Santillan, and Alexis Diaz. I mean, if he doesn't throw that many innings, I mean, maybe you're talking Lucas Sims, you have to try to get 2 innings out of him. He only threw 12 pitches, so Lucas should be still fairly fresh in this big series coming up. Maybe you have to try to get 2 innings out of Tony Santillan in his first start back. I mean, Duarte threw 22 pitches, Jabot threw 28, Farmer threw 29. So, I mean, that was huge for this team. And he also may have saved a guy like Daniel Duarte from having to get shipped down. Daniel Duarte still could maybe get shipped down just for this weekend. Kind of play with the options game where you send him down, you have 15 days, but half that's going to be over the All-Star break. Mm-hmm. I could see something like that. It would kind of stink for him. But nonetheless, yeah, Brandon Williamson, what a start from him. Excited to see. Will Brandon Williamson be in the first 3 starters against the Brewers after the All-Star break?
I'm so glad you brought that up because I was thinking the same thing. When you come out of the All-Star break, who are the 3 horses you throw at GABP against the Brewers? Obviously, Abbott's going to be one. You'd think, maybe I'm trying to think. They might go with a Weaver for the experience. I don't know what they would do there. But I think Williamson's emerged in that conversation. I mean, we don't know what the status is with Lively. It sounds like he's going to pitch on Sunday, but we don't know how he's going to look for sure. But, I mean, right now, Brett Kennedy just pitched a couple days ago. I think Williamson's probably in that top 3 when we come out of the All-Star break.
Brandon Williamson might be starting on Friday night. Just, since he'll be pitching before Abbott. But yeah, that's wild to think. I think I would do it.
What I'm thinking, Nick, do you sandwich Ashcraft in between Abbott and Williamson and do Williamson Friday, Ashcraft Saturday, Abbott Sunday?
I don't know. Yeah, Ashcraft, that's a long time off for him. I almost wouldn't be shocked if Ashcraft comes out on Sunday. depending on how this weekend goes, and pitches on 3 days rest, a couple innings. He seems like a kind of pitcher that wouldn't phase him, right? It's gonna depend on how Friday and Saturday go. But yeah, I think Brandon Williams. I think probably Luke Weaver. If he pitches well, he'll probably get another start. If he pitches poorly, he probably won't. They'll probably bump him back to the next series. But nonetheless, good problems to have. Let's move on to Nick Senzel. That catch, I can't. I thought, well, game's over. My head's going to, all right, what are we gonna say? When you do a show, you're trying to think of what are you gonna, that's right where my head went, and look up, and he somehow caught that. And then for him to come right back out and hit that home run, man, it's just really cool for him. What a roller coaster of a career he's had with the Reds. A lot of downs, and he hasn't been great this year by any stretch, but he's contributed. He's contributed in big spots. He's obviously hit left-handed pitching pretty well, and it's cool to see him being a part of this team this year.
Yeah, it definitely is. And you hit the nail on the head. Nick Senzel has not been, an unbelievable player this year by any means. But I think what's most important is after all the injuries and after all the, the downs in this up and down career, he's found a role, not just on the Reds. He's found a role on a good baseball team that's competing to go to October. And I think at the end of the day, there's number 1 overall picks and there's, 20th round picks. But I think at the end of the day, everyone's goal, end all be all goal, is to be a contributor on a team that can win the World Series. And I think right now, Nick Senzel is a contributor. Can they win the World Series? That's still to be determined. But I think this is a great role for Nick Senzel at this stage of his career. And you know what? He's carved out a role being a great hitter against left-handed pitching. But the home run he hit today was off a really good right-handed reliever. So he's showing, that at the end of the day, if he's called upon against a righty, he can still come through as well. And, he's really impressed me with, 1, his versatility, and just 2, how solid of a defender he is. He's been great at third base all year when they needed, Steer and McClain and Ellie to hold down the infield. He went out to the outfield again. He's looked solid out there. Sometimes he takes a couple bad routes, but more so, more times than not, his athleticism kind of makes up for that. And today you said it. Maybe the catch of the year looked a lot like the Odell Beckham Jr. catch from 2016, kind of just reaching back, unbelievable play. And it did save the game because, 1, if he catches that and falls, Thomas probably tags and tries to score from second. 2, if he doesn't catch it, Thomas definitely scores from second. So big catch, saved the game, and then he won the game in the 10th.
Yeah, what a day for Nick Senzel. How about Joey Votto coming off the bench? Coming up with that big hit to tie the ball game. I think that was in the 8th inning. Joey Votto had a really great series here against the Nats.
Yeah, and what does that show you? I think that shows you a lot, Nick, because I think, at the end of the day, Votto pinch hit for Newman, so it was pretty easy to sub him in at first base there. But at the end of the day, I think David Bell could have easily pinch hit Jake Fraley in that spot and then just moved Steer back to the infield. And left Fraley in the outfield. But, he went with the veteran. He went with the guy, the former MVP, the guy that's been there the longest, and he came through for him. So that's not a knock on Jake Fraley by any means. I think it shows that David Bell still thinks Joey Votto is a good baseball player and a contributor to this ball club, and he came through in a big spot.
Yeah, it's a good point. I didn't really think about how it could have been either guy. I think Newman might have already been out of the game at that point. As I think that I'm
not positive.
David Bell did a lot of wild managing today because TJ Friedel pinch hit for Luke Maile, and then Newman came out of the game. Newman batted, but then he came out of the game after that. Somehow Casali came into Newman's spot, and then our guy David Bell got to do a double switch.
David Bell knows more about lineup construction than I ever will, Nick. I mean, it's amazing what he's able to do.
He got to do a double switch.
He pulled off a double switch in the DH era.
I know. I got to find out who's the last manager to do. I'm sure it's happened at some point, along the way here. But David Bell's he's not afraid to pull the DH out of these games. I have noticed that. He doesn't have that fear, especially if it's kind of either a big spot. He's not afraid to do that. So it hasn't burned him yet. It's just to see if it'll burn him at some point down the road. But hey, the ghost runners completely change how important it is to save players or not.
No, Go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
I just don't. I don't know if you and Trace have ever talked about this before, but I know that David Bell gets on everybody's nerves sometimes for not bringing in the right arm or not pulling a guy at the right time or what have you. But personally, especially now that this team is 10 games over 500 and a legit threat to not just win the division but go on a run and try to win the National League pennant, I think I'd rather have a manager that takes that shot, Nick, and maybe it backfires or maybe it blows up in his face. But I'd rather have a manager that took that shot than a manager that sat back and, what could have been. I'd rather take that shot and it doesn't work out. Obviously, you want it to work out, but I'd rather have a guy like David Bell in the corner where, all of a sudden, I feel like a lot of times David Bell manages every single game like it's Game 7 of the World Series. And sometimes that will bite you because you can't manage every single game like that. But I think if the Reds get to where they want to go, that's going to be a really, really nice mindset to have for the postseason.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I feel like David Bell, the way he manages, he opens himself up for a lot of criticism. He's not afraid of it either. He'll make the bold moves. There are some managers in baseball that I think if you watch the way they manage to avoid some criticism at times. And David Bell definitely does not do that. And yeah, I mean, like I said, he does typically manage aggressive outside of his bullpen. I think overall, he is pretty conservative with that. Tyler Curtis bringing us a super chat, $4.99. Will Benson needs to start every day. Well, Will Benson, he got a start against a lefty today, and then he never actually faced a lefty. What a wild game that way that worked out. But Benson had a great day. Had that big double. He scored the tying run, right? Yeah, Benson doubled. Friedel bunted him over.
Benson doubled. Friedel bunted him over. Votto singled him home.
There's a lot that happened in this ball game.
Yeah, the last 3 innings of that game were wild.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, Will Benson. We talked about him last night, so I won't really go any more on him. But Shay, what's your kind of thoughts about this turnaround? I think it was me and you were talking about him. And we're like, yeah, I'd probably wait to call him back up until like July or August. Give him some time to season in the minor leagues, build his confidence back up, and he just came back way earlier than that. And he's played like an all-star since he's been back.
He has. And Nick, I'm proud to say that you and I were both members of the Don't Give Up on Will Benson Club. But you're absolutely right. I mean, when Will Benson got sent down after that just absolutely abysmal start, I knew that there was more to him. I did not think this was the more to him. I knew he had the speed. I knew he had the power. I did not think it would all come together like this fast. I mean, and it speaks volumes to just how hard he works. It speaks volumes to how fast he learns the game of baseball. He is one of their best hitters. He's been one of the best hitters in baseball since he's come back up. Second in on-base percentage only to Shohei Ohtani, who, Nick, last I heard, pretty damn good at this whole baseball thing, is that Mr. Ohtani. But I just think Will Benson, only 25 years old, he's gone from a guy that fans really couldn't see being a part of this team moving forward to a guy that many considered to be one of the best bench outfielders in the league to a guy that may be a future star on one of the best young teams in baseball. It's just amazing. And it's all happened in less than 3 months. It's just the Will Benson story is a movie script, Nick. It really is. Yeah,
absolutely. Sir Boy Wonder, Nick, is Vladdy G going to the bullpen or rotation when he gets back? My guess is the Reds would try to bring him back as a starter, and then kind of see where they're at when he gets closer. But I think most of it's just going to depend on where the Reds are at. Do they need a starter? Do they not? That's probably would be my guess.
When did Charlie Goldsmith say that his rehab was starting? Wasn't it like mid-August?
Yeah.
So he might not even be about ready to join the club until 2-3 weeks left in the season.
It's tough too when you get to that point of the year because there's not minor league games. You have to go like simulated games and stuff. So
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if I would count on really him at all this year, but hey, anything's a bonus. Any pitchers you can get. Let's talk about Ellie De La Cruz. A little bit of a struggle in the field today, but man, he's really hitting well right now. he looks like he's starting to figure out how to hit left-handed pitching a little bit.
Yeah, 6 for 6 in your last 6 at bats ain't all that bad.
I think maybe we should have, pumped the brakes on get rid of switch hitting after like a couple weeks of the season.
Well, we've seen it with Benson. We saw it with McLean striking out. Now we've seen it with Ellie batting switch hitting. Nick, I think we're starting to just remember that it's really hard to play professional baseball. It takes time.
It does. It does. What did you think about that? That tag, and that was tough.
It's hard to blame Ellie, I think, for that because I don't think he did anything, incorrect. I do think that, in that situation, you should probably be more aggressive and go to tag the player and not wait for the player to come into the tag. So obviously, hindsight, you could say Ellie should have gone after Abrams. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's just, I think, an unfortunate ending to a really good play. I'm not too worried about it. I think more so, I know I saw some fans saying that, Ellie's just got to go for the tag and make that play. And maybe you're right. But at the end of the day, I think it was just a heck of a slide by CJ Abrams.
Yeah, Chris Walsh talked it on the broadcast. A lot of players are doing that more. So I think, players might have to change some of their mindset on that. But yeah, I mean, Ellie hasn't played a whole lot of third base. This is still a newer position to him,
right,
for the most part. So yeah, and then let's talk about the let's talk about that. What do you think about Matt McLean being aggressive?
I'm fine with it. I saw what you said, and I have a pretty similar approach. I mean, it took a perfect relay to get McLean at the plate. I did not see if McLean had stumbled or, shuffled his feet a little bit because of the rain. I don't know if that was a factor or not. But McLean's got good speed. I think he's in the 91st percentile for speed. It was a game where you weren't struggling to score, but runs were not as aplenty as they were the last couple days. I know that Spencer Steer was it Spencer Steer was on deck? I think it was Spencer Steer was on deck. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know that Spencer Steer was on deck. And again, hindsight's 20/20. You want Steer to come up in that situation. But at the end of the day, again, I'd rather be a fan of a ball club that goes for it and sometimes it blows up in their face than maybe you hold McLean at third there, Steer gets out, and then we're talking about this exact same play, Nick, where we're going, why didn't they send McLean?
Yeah. And I mean, I would also point to, when we see teams that throw the ball away against the Reds, when we see, defenses look frazzled at times, it's because the Reds are always doing these ultra aggressive moves. They're always leaning on that side.
Well, Nick, we're at the point where ultra aggressive moves are the Reds' identity in 2023.
Yeah.
Ultra aggressive moves are why this team is 10 games over 500. Every now and then, is it going to come back to bite them in the butt? Yeah, absolutely. But you can't, I mean, at this point, this is just the way this team plays. And if you try to change it, a lot more is going to change than one specific play.
For sure. Yeah, the cumulative effect of the aggressive running, I think, has had a big impact on this team. Run through some of the relievers today, as there was a lot of them that pitched. Buck Farmer, I feel like I really don't blame him at all for that. He had a dropped ball, still should have got out of the inning. I thought overall he pitched pretty well. Nice bounce back, I think, overall for him. Yeah. Ian Jabot, man, he had a really strong outing. Really kind of kept the game afloat. 2 strikeouts today. I thought Jabot looked good. Lucas Sims, he was great. Got through 1, 2, 3 on 12 pitches. And then I don't know, any concerns with Alexis Diaz? Any concerns that maybe could be wearing down a little bit? And he's not getting a break here at the All-Star break either?
Yeah, I would say no. I'm not a fan of, obviously, I'm not going to tell Alexis Diaz to not pitch in the All-Star game. 1, he doesn't know I exist. And 2, I don't have the right to say that. He's an All-Star for the first time in his career. Heck yeah, go to Seattle and pitch in the All-Star game. That's an awesome accomplishment for your big league career. But at the same time, I think most of this with Alexis Diaz, Nick, is a combination of fatigue. I think he's pitched a lot in the first half of the season. You know that. I know that. I think everyone in chat knows that. At the end of the day, his strikeout numbers are a little bit down. I think, guys are – I don't want to say guys are seeing him better, but I think it's a combination of fatigue, and I think it's just a combination of they've played some pretty good teams over the last couple weeks. So at the end of the day, I don't think it was realistic to expect Alexis Diaz to go 52 of 52 on saves this year and have a 1.4 ERA the whole season. He still has a 2.2 ERA, and he's only blown one save all year. He's still pretty damn good, Nick Kirby, and I think, going into the second half of the year, I'm still happy to have him closing out games for the Reds.
Yeah, he's a pretty good pitcher. But yeah, I mean, another just, really, really good job from the Reds bullpen. I mean, they only allowed three runs over 3 earned runs. You don't count the ghost runner that scored, but over 7 innings. I mean, that's still
yeah, you're
solid.
Right. The run that scored today was the ghost runner, so his ERA didn't even go up.
Yeah.
So yeah,
there you go, Alexis. All right, well, let's talk about this big series coming up. Reds and Brewers. Reds got a 2-game cushion going into this series. I mean, I honestly thought if the Reds could just be tied at this point, that'd be great. But a 2-game cushion. First matchup on Friday is a sizzling matchup. Corbin Burnes against Andrew Abbott. Burnes this year, I feel like his ERA of 4 might be a little deceiving. He's had some really good starts this year. He's had some rough starts too, where he's kind of gotten blown up just a little bit. But overall, I think he's probably a little bit better than that. He has actually been worse on the road this year. He's got a 4.27 ERA at home. And then Burnes' walks are up, strikeouts are down, and his home runs allowed are up this year. So interested to see Corbin Burnes. Reds, of course, did face him earlier this year and did pretty well against him. It was actually Williamson versus Burnes earlier in the year. Burnes threw 6 innings, 2 hits, 3 earned runs, gave up a home run to Jonathan India, but he walked 4 batters, and that was one of only 2 starts all year where he's walked 4 or more, and the other was against the Kansas City Royals of all teams. So the Reds did do a good job. That last start really made him work. Him getting through 6 innings, it was a grind to get through that. And then, of course, Andrew Abbott for your Cincinnati Reds. Andrew Abbott, the first pitcher since 1900 to record at least 40 strikeouts while allowing 5 runs or fewer in his first 6 games. He's just been incredible. Right-handed batters are hitting 149 against Abbott. Left-handed batters are hitting 179, which is still incredible. But Abbott has yet to allow an extra base hit or a walk. He's not allowed a single walk to a left-handed batter in 28 plate appearances. So Abbott's just been incredible. What's your thoughts about this Friday night matchup, Shay? And then what's your thoughts about this series?
I'm stoked for this series, man. I think it's going to feel like a playoff series. One thing that the Milwaukee Brewers do very well is they do understand big games. And I think American Financial Family Field, whatever it's called now, it's going to be rocking. The place is going to be going nuts. It's Miller Park to me. But it's going to be going crazy. I'm very, very excited for this game. Corbin Burnes, I'm gonna go into this series, Nick, just knowing that I'm gonna think Corbin Burnes is the Cy Young winner from 2021. I mean, I'm not gonna go into this and get cute and say that Corbin Burnes is washed or Corbin Burnes is not good. But if it is worth noting, I'm looking at his season stats right now, and he is exactly at half the innings he threw last year, 101 this year, 202 last year, and he has over almost 70% the number of walks he had all of last season in the first half of this year. So walks have become more of a problem for Corbin Burnes than they were last season. He's also given up a few more home runs than he had the past couple of seasons as well, but he's still really good. He still gets a lot of swings and misses. He's still very good at home. I do think the Reds offense, though, this is going to be the best Reds lineup Corbin Burnes has ever faced. So I think this is going to be a great game. Andrew Abbott, Corbin Burnes are going to keep it close, and hopefully the Reds make enough plays to win this one. But I think the Reds have a really good chance of winning this series, maybe even getting a sweep. I'm not going to go crazy, but I think they have a chance to win this series, maybe even get hot and ride into the All-Star break, really feeling good about themselves. But this is a big weekend for the Reds this weekend and next weekend, because when Hunter Green and Nick Lodolo come back for the Reds, Nick, the Brewers are getting Brandon Woodruff back as well. So pitching is all of a sudden going to get really interesting here in about 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, Reds lost 3 of 4 to the Brewers back at Great America Ballpark in early June. Reds were outscored 20-15 in that series but one of those losses was by 1 run, another in extra innings. Another one was by 2. Ellie De La Cruz was not up yet. Matt McLean was up. But yeah, this is a pretty different lineup. I don't think Will Benson was up either. So, obviously a much deeper lineup right now. And yeah, I mean, the Reds, if they win one game this weekend, they will be alone in first place at the All-Star break. So really, we're going to keep riding it out because we've kept saying, we said this Nats series, hey, let's just win 2. We said the Astros series, hey, let's just win 1. And the Reds just keep sweeping these series. So, hey, I'm not going to be greedy. I just want 1 win this weekend, and we'll call it a day, and we'll see what else can happen. All right, to your Reds minor leagues. When I made this graphic about 9 hours ago, I thought the games wouldn't be starting, but Daytona's actually getting ready to start. So Daytona's in action. They're about to start here in a minute. And then Dayton Dragons are at 7:05. Louisville Bats at 7:05. Randy Wynn in action for the Bats. And then Chattanooga at 7:35. Of course, in your podcast feed tomorrow morning, I will recap all of the Reds minor league action. Shay, any final thoughts for us before we wrap this bad boy up?
Well, it's another day, another Reds win. We snapped the kiss of death streak. We hit 5 losses in a row. It was one of the hardest months of my life because I love talking Reds and I love being on this show. But, at the time, there was a stretch where I thought maybe it'd be better off if I wasn't on it. But now I'm glad to know that that's in the past. I'm excited to be back on Saturday. And, Nick, we're going to be talking about a Reds series win. I feel it. They're going to Milwaukee. They're going to take care of the Brewers. And the Reds are going to be the clear top team in the NL Central come the All-Star break. Let's get it.
Love it. Love it. Love the energy. Thanks again, Shay, for coming on. Appreciate you. Look forward to having you back on Saturday. And if you have not liked this stream on your way out, subscribe to Chatterbox Sports on YouTube. Make sure that you are subscribed to the podcast wherever you get podcasts. And as I've been begging and pleading with you, please just leave us a kind little 5-star review. That stuff really, really helps us out as we hope to continue to grow the show, continue to bring you more Reds content, and continue to ride this wave. Reds 10 games over 500 going into the last series of the first half. What a time to be alive. We'll see you Friday night. It'll be a little later, probably about 10:30. Game starts at 8 o'clock tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Thursday. Go Reds.
We couldn't let you get away with it, Nick.